I can think of a really good group of reasons why this is an important video. But one of the main things that we often come across, and we've talked about several times in terms of being creators and having residual income that allows us that peace of mind or that mental freedom, that particular space where we know we can get on with our creativity because we have income coming in. And I want to talk about probably my most successful form of regular investment activity, which is something I've mentioned before, but I wanted just to go into it in a little bit more detail today because of a recent opportunity that has arisen. I'm just going to look at my notes while I go through this. Basically, you know that I have rental income from rooms in our homes here and in Mexico City. You know that we have income from the book sales on Amazon and other book selling platforms, but I also have courses that I sell on places like Skillshare. But my most lucrative investment is something I started 3 months ago, and I've referenced it before, about coin mining. And I purchased what's called a Masternode from Beep or beepextra.com. And I just want to talk about that because I was discussing things with Lyndon, a friend of mine, for many years. And recently we were just discussing something in his role of Beepcoin. And it's very significant. Many of you will have heard of Bitcoin, and you probably, like us, hold Bitcoin already. If you don't, that's certainly something worth considering. And having access to a coin mining facility is a very straightforward way of getting involved in that process. Bitcoin, a bit like gold, is considered to be what's called a store of value. So it's not something that you can immediately use. You accrue it over time. Maybe, like me, every week you buy some aspect or some element of Bitcoin and add it to your holdings. Or you buy it on a regular 3-month basis, but you buy it consistently and you hold it not for how you can use it today, but for its potential future value. And much in the same way that people accumulate and save for gold, they might hold physical gold. But it's virtually impossible to go to a shop and say, I have some gold, I'd like to buy a trolley worth of food at the supermarket. You just can't do it. Bitcoin is the same. It's a very good store of value, and you've seen its price accumulate over the years, and it fluctuates daily like the price of different currencies do, but it is a very good store of value because it allows you to accumulate this fund and to maintain it in what is a lessening market. So your property over time, the property being the Bitcoin, has a higher value. But mining other coins that you can then convert into Bitcoin or you can use and spend in other ways is very important. If you and I go into a shop and we want to buy something, we get frustrated if something takes more than a few seconds for the process of us taking out the card and swiping it to going through and being approved. If it takes more than a few seconds, we get frustrated. A Bitcoin, for example, whilst being a really good store of value and a way of holding your wealth, it's a very valuable tool, it doesn't have that retail capability. This is where Beep comes in because it has the technology to be a fast payment processing tool, but it also allows you to access and to work with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency transactions on the blockchain are done through what are called nodes. So a transaction passes through one and another and another and another, and the verification process and the anonymity is maintained through the fact that these little pieces of data are moved at high speed for transactions to take place. So Bitcoin is really well placed to take advantage of the need for fast retail processing speeds, but to do it in a natural way so that a consumer can go and buy something using one of their loyalty cards issued by Beep, and they can purchase something, and if there's a loyalty factor added to that card, they can use it somewhere else. And so little groupings of retailers can use digital currency in one particular environment. It could be anywhere in the world. You could be watching this in Mexico or Germany, in Sri Lanka or Venezuela. But digital currency using the Beep model can be your way of doing transactions, doing them fast and easily, and knowing that you are doing so securely. And the reason that Beep can act so quickly on the blockchain is precisely because it has a proprietary software which it has developed and which it owns called Steroid4.0. This is the magic which allows an investment with Bitcoin to be transacted quickly so that you earn fees literally every few minutes. If you look at a dashboard that comes with one of the products you can acquire, you can look at the dashboard and see that you're generating fees every few seconds and getting paid out every few minutes. Something that doesn't happen with book royalties, where in a traditional process you get paid perhaps quarterly by your publisher, but annual is far more common. On room rental, for example, I get paid once a month, and I only know after a few days that rent hasn't come in, and then I will have to go and talk to the housemate, see what the challenge is, and find a way for them to be supported to get their rent, or to make a simple arrangement with them that the rent comes in a week late. I don't have that with digital currency or with coin mining through Beep. What is Steroid 4.0? This is the protocol that the whole Beep system operates on, and its power lies in the speed of transaction processing, making it a perfect tool for retail anywhere in the world. Gabriella and I bought one of the Masternodes several months ago because we figured it's very practical to have a digital currency income alongside the book royalties and the rent and the other revenue from online courses, for example. But we wanted something that would give us income from transactions happening all over the world, things that we have no involvement in, but we own the element of the blockchain, the node. In this case, it's called a Masternode. The Masternode captures the data and feeds those transactions through its particular system so that you or I, as Masternode owners, generate a revenue on every single transaction. Having your own Masternode gives you access to regular income, regular fee earning on all those transactions that are happening digitally, 24 hours a day, but where the revenue comes from all over the world. As more and more retailers seek a process of digital transactions through their tills, through their points of payment at the counter or on their websites, the use of Beep will continue to rise, and more people will, whether or not they know it, will see their transactions being processed online using the high-speed processing ability of the Steroid 4.0 blockchain. And that's something we're really excited about. One of the things that Lyndon and I were discussing a few days ago is the awful impact of inflation on our savings. For every £100 that you and I keep in a bank or a building society, inflation at its true rate, which is always higher than the publicised rate. So, for example, we might be experiencing inflation according to local media, wherever we live, of 4 or 5 or 6%. But the reality, of course, is that your money is going down by more than that. So actual true inflation can be 8 or 10 or 11%, but it's eating away at your money. For every £100 that you place in the bank, you're not having that £100 worth of purchasing power next year. It might have gone down to 90. The majority of people don't have multiple streams of income. They will have their job income, and maybe they will get a little bit of interest on the savings that they keep in that bank or building society, even though inflation is eating into and reducing that money that has been their nest egg, or is the significant savings that they are putting to one side in preparation for a large project, or for the ultimate project, which is retirement at a comfortable level when you leave work. As I've said, we have various sources of income. In Mexico, those come from Airbnb guests who stay in our available rooms every single night of the week because of our location. Here in England, we have room rental in this house because I have the space, and I enjoy having the company of short-term or longer-term housemates. So our alternative incomes to full-time employment have been very good. But when I saw the opportunity within the Masternode, it was a very simple decision, because we have that confidence in creating something for the long term, which we can see generating regular income on a daily basis, so that it moves from being a store of value, like something like the traditional Bitcoin cryptocurrency, into something that, because it has a retail application and your Masternode allows you to generate income from online transactions, we saw that as a great opportunity for us. And 3 months into our ownership of a Masternode, we couldn't be happier, because we can log into our dashboard every night or once a week, it doesn't matter, but we can see the steady accumulation of fees that we have built up over the course of a day without having to be involved in it, other than making sure that we secured our own Masternode through the Beep model. And of course, I spoke earlier about the need for creative individuals to have extra revenue and to create and build other income streams. This is something that applies to everybody. This isn't just for somebody who, like me, is a part-time writer and a part-time landlord. This is for everybody, whether you're working full-time, whether you're creative, whether you have a technical career. Having access to a Beep Masternode will give you regular income on an ongoing basis. We're very confident that as the adoption of cryptocurrency by retailers anywhere in the world and all over the world is moving forward ever so slightly at a faster pace every month, we know that by owning a Masternode, we are giving ourselves direct access to those regular transaction fees which are to be had for processing of retail activity, as well as from the fees that come from the regular transactions happening every few seconds between the buyers and sellers of cryptocurrencies that you and I all know about. Let him explain to you the value of acquiring a Masternode for your household and look at the value that can generate for you over a relatively short period of time. And we're talking about holding it for a couple of years. That's my take as a family man, as a property investor, and as a part-time writer, and my take on expanding our portfolio by purchasing for our family a little piece of the blockchain and owning a Masternode that operates and runs on this phenomenal piece of technology called Steroid 4.0, which was developed by Angelos Hadjifilippou, who is the Chief Technical Officer of the Beep Group. Reading through a white paper he produced, that was a big trigger for me to feel confident to proceed and secure our piece of the cryptocurrency world. Rather than continue to listen to me, have a look at the video in the link that I'm going to put somewhere below this video or in the description of the video itself, and listen to Lyndon Farrington as the Chief Executive Officer of the Beep Group explain in far more detail the hows and whys of Steroid 4.0 and the use of the Masternode to process and capture transaction fees at lightning speed all around the crypto world through the Steroid 4.0 Masternode. Thanks for listening. I hope you found it helpful. Any questions, of course, just get back in touch with Lyndon or with myself, and I can share my experience and he can give you the inside knowledge on how that technology works for you. Thanks for watching.